Get up, weirdo. We're talking shit. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Natalie Megan, and this is Weirdo Book Club. I'm coming to you live from hell, which I have been in for the last 2 days, ever since I read the book that we're going to talk about today. This book saw Haunting Adeline sitting pretty with the title of the worst book I read in 2023 and said, "Hold my drink." This book is a tragedy, but come along with me as I attempt to make this review of this book a comedy. Godspeed to me. I did not read this book. This book was done to me. This book was inflicted upon me by someone who calls themselves my friend. This book had me like,
I am a victim of a hate crime.
That's not what a hate crime is.
Well, I hated it.
and I'm only half kidding. More on that in a bit. The friend who sent me this book wishes to remain nameless. And now that I read this book, I get that. Nameless or not, you know who you are, and you know what you've done. Today we will be discussing Wings of a Butterfly by Aidan Perry. It's not as bad as it looks, guys. It's actually worse. Let's do the disclaimers. 1. This review will contain spoilers, opinions, and general shit-talking. If you're not interested in hearing any of that, the door is right over there and you will have no hard feelings from me. Disclaimer number 2, this review is not for the author. It's not for the author. It's not for the author. It's not for friends of the author. It's not for first cousins twice removed of the author. If you hold them dear in your heart and you don't think you can handle hearing me drag this book to hell and back, protect your peace and don't watch this. Boop. Hi there. I have another disclaimer for you. I know y'all can't get enough. This is important though, so please hear me out. The author of this book is a part of the LGBTQ plus community. And I just want to be clear that while I have some critiques of this book, most of which revolve around how queerness is portrayed, I'm in no way attacking the author's character. In the same way that women can be misogynistic, queer people can also be homophobic. And I think that we're dealing with that in this book. Again, I don't know this author, but I know what I read, and it's not great. I sat with this and I thought about doing this whole review over, starting completely from scratch. But I think if I just pop in, let you know what I'm going to be discussing and why, I think that will do. But this has just been bothering me because I know one of the things that you guys seem to really appreciate about my videos is the care that I put into talking about these harmful things. And I was just feeling like I didn't do it justice. So I just wanted to add this in and just let you know what we're dealing with here. I feel like this book is chock full of internalized homophobia, and it made me feel a certain type of way. So yeah, I just wanted to add that in, and I will catch back up with you in a little bit. Oopsie, I forgot one. So this is usually the point in the video where I tell you that I'm not coming for the dark romance genre, and I promise you that I'm not. You're allowed to read what you want to read and like what you want to like as long as you're not harming anyone else. You don't owe me an explanation. Do what you want to do. I do find this book to be harmful though, and just poorly executed in general. A total shit show. But in general, you're allowed to read whatever you want, okay? Onward. Wings of a Butterfly is a 110-page horror erotica dark romance novella with multiple POVs. Let's just get into it because I have to go to sleep. We're starting with the dedication because it's important and I want you to log it away for later. I've always wanted a story for myself but can never find one, so I wrote it. For all of those who have ever questioned their sexuality, this is for you. How fun, a book for me! I want you to remember this dedication, okay? Log it away. Log it away for future use because I will be coming back to it. Onward to the synopsis. Skylar is lovesick over her best friend Nicole. She's determined to wait for her, but her dad's gaslighting over her sexuality isn't helping matters. After a harsh argument, Nicole decides her friend needs a little fun. She finds an alternative music festival that's sure to liven things up and lift her friend's mood. If that doesn't work, the drugs surely will. Little does Skylar know her world is about to be turned upside down. There's a man that preys on women at these events, and he has his sights set on her. She'll only share one last kiss with her first love before descending into darkness. Will he kill her, or will he have her seeing God in a whole new way? I bet I know which one. One thing's for certain. The wings that made her soul beautiful will be torn from her, and the secrets that unfold will force her to make a change. I don't like this. Moving on to the content warnings. This book is not intended for anyone under the age of legal adulthood. What a weird roundabout way of saying 18 plus. There are some things to be aware of before continuing. Be sure to check my website for triggers. Oh, I plan to. It's intended as fictitious fantasy only. It's not intended to be used as a resource for sexual education. 2 things. First, I've read this now, and I can tell you with every single fiber of my being that no one on God's green earth would mistake this book for a resource on sexual education. 2, fictitious is not a fucking word. Fiction is a word. Fictitious is a word. But fictitious is not a word. It's not a word. When the word fictitious popped up, I opened up a Google Doc, went back to page 1, and started scripting in real time because I knew that this was a bullshit goldmine. The author even named the editor, shouted them out by name. in the beginning of this book. And then the word fictitious is here. So I clicked on the link provided in the ebook. Beautiful website. And it brought me to 2 different lists of triggers, one from the author and one from a paid sensitivity reader. The author's triggers are as follows: drug use, gaslighting, homophobic harmful phrase from a side character, stalking, murder, suicide, dubcon, con, asphyxiation, CSA, taboo, marking, and ends in a cliffhanger. The paid sensitivity reader listed drug use, unacceptable LGBT plus family, blatant homophobia, assault, stalker, kidnapping, childhood abuse mention, being hunted, torture, grooming, gore, murder, cancer death mention, strained family relationships, on-page drug use, choking, asphyxiation, dubcon, CNC, misogyny, spelled wrong, ableism, failed police reports, rape culture, corpse, manipulation, alcoholic parent mention, on-page alcoholic, depression, incest, molestation, parentification, neglect, emotional incest, grooming, Oedipus complex, boop, hello from the void, I forgot one more thing. Oedipus complex is the sexual feelings that a son may develop for his mother and subsequent hostility he may harbor towards his father or other male suitors of his mother. Just wanted to put that out there in case you, like me, did not know off the top of your head what the Oedipus complex was. Now you don't have to look it up. All right, back to the video. Attempted murder, makeshift graves, asphyxiation, burns, branding, marking, Stockholm syndrome, gore, graphic injury description, amputation, mutilation as body horror, bugs and wounds, mercy killing on page, assisted suicide, pregnancy, attempted suicide on page, graphic, self-harm, involuntary admission to a psychiatric facility, unsafe abortion, hallucinations, on-page meltdown, and on-page molestation. So the misspelling of misogyny, as well as the changing of tenses while you're listing, and the doubling and tripling up on some of these triggers.
Oh, you stink!
Another issue I have so far already: trigger warning taboo, trigger warning corpse, trigger warning graphic. What are these triggers? What are they supposed to do? You're not telling me anything. Also, what is con? It's either a misspelling and it's meant to say non-con, or it's something maybe I don't know about. I don't know. I don't know everything, guys.
I don't know what any of this shit is, and I'm fucking scared.
But if you know what it is, let me know in the comms. The book is starting. Here we go. Prologue. Killer. I'm not optimistic given the chaos we've already endured, but okay, here we go. We begin in the woods, arguably one of the best places to begin a novel. I know you're out here, little girl. You can run, but I'll find you. You don't want to piss me off or I'll have to punish you again. A laugh escapes my mouth. I'm pretty fucking hilarious sometimes. Sounds like me when I edit my videos. I'm walking around the woods that surround my house in the dead of night, but I know these woods like the back of my hand. I could find my way with my eyes closed. I spent many nights out here trying to get away from my mother and brother's cruelty. A muffled whimper and heavy breathing reach my right ear, pulling me from my thoughts. Before I make any sudden moves, I scan the area, letting my eyes adjust to the darkness. The only light is the moon flickering through the trees. I see toes with chipped pink nail polish and a kneecap sticking out from behind a tree trunk. He must have top-tier pristine vision. Have you ever been in the fucking woods at night? Even if there's a full moon, it's still really dark. But somehow this man can not only see the color of her nail polish, but also that it's chipped. This is going great. He sings, "I can see you," and she darts further into the forest. I love playing with them. This is my favorite part of the game, the chase before I punish them. I set rules that are to be followed as I slowly tame them. Well, I hope to anyway. My methods have not seemed to work yet because every time I loosen the length of their leash, they take the full mile. It's so disrespectful. Right. Like, when am I gonna get a victim that's okay with being kidnapped and wants to stay with me? Ugh. I bet I know when. Catches her, licks a tear off of her face, unacceptable, and then bashes her head into a tree. Chapter 1, Skylar. So we open to Skylar eating breakfast cereal and watching the news talking about Susan, the girl that we just saw get unalived in the prologue. Last seen at a music festival in Arkansas. I wonder if that will be important later. Probably not. Nicole, her BFF and mega crush, comes in and interrupts. "I scored us tickets to the music festival happening in Memphis." And I want to take this moment to share with you the moment, the actual moment that I found out this book is set in Memphis. For those of you who don't know, I live in Memphis. This is the voice message I sent to my nameless friend.
Bitch! Bitch! You did not tell me that this is set in Memphis!
It's a wonder more my friends don't block me. Skylar hates her homophobic dad, Steven. He doesn't understand my sexuality and constantly states, "You haven't even tried dick yet. You don't know what you like." I can't help but roll my eyes at the memory. Same broken record of an argument, but new shiny consequences. This time he's holding my tuition over my head. It's outrageous.
Daddy, chill.
I don't have a dad. I did not have a dad in my home. Is this how fathers speak to their children? When my family found out that I was queer, that was a weird moment in time for me, and they said some stuff. But just let me know. This doesn't seem normal. I still don't understand boomers and their logic. Same, girl. He hasn't been the same since mom passed away from cancer my senior year of high school. I've been keeping him at a distance from my life ever since. Some of the things he said still bothers me. I hurt too, but that never mattered to him.
That's a lot of information to get in 30 seconds.
Let me sum up our two new besties, okay? First up, we have Skylar, who is an introverted English major who works in a bookstore and is secretly in love with her best friend Nicole and hates her homophobic father Stephen. Nicole is an outgoing, green-haired waitress who somehow has enough money to drive a Volvo XC40. Suspicious. I wonder if that'll come up later. So they're getting ready and Skylar's like not excited about it, but Nicole totally is. And Skylar's like, "Do you have the stuff?" And Nicole's like, "Yeah, girl, but you don't get any until we get there." Woo! I'm assuming it's drugs. But before heading out the door, Skylar spots like a green flash from her laptop, but when she looks at it, there's nothing there. Probably won't matter. They hop in her Luxy car, which is another word that is not a word, but they hit the road. She passes me the aux cord and I play NF, whose lyrics reflect the dark emotions I'm feeling at the moment. Skylar just sounds like fun. Like, honestly, she sounds like a ball of fun. Everybody wants her around. She lights up a room when she enters. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting. And I don't know who NF is, so I did look it up. And I gotta tell you, I have nothing but good feelings about a 26-year-old white male rapper based in Nashville and signed to a Christian label, rapping about how he's a disappointment to his family. Right on, man. It's fine. It's fine. I only listened to one song. It wasn't half bad. It's just whatever, okay? I'm not a music show. Skylar is zoned out as Nicole drives, and she's looking at the trees and the sky go by and the music pumping through the speakers. And in this moment where her best friend has gotten her tickets and is taking her on a trip to cheer her up, she wishes she had a book so she could escape further. Again, what a delight to have along on a road trip. I mean, I know she's hoping that one day Nicole will love her the way she loves Nicole. And if she keeps being a bummer like this, I feel like that day is closer than you think. They arrive and Nicole is super excited, but bummer Skylar would rather be anywhere else. Preferably Nicole's pants, but I digress. I feel my face cringing at the idea of a crowd. This is not my thing. I usually just follow Nikki like a shadow. I think it's because I want her to finally notice that I love her more than a friend. I'm friend-zoned and not even sure she's into girls. Friend-zoned, huh? You know, I thought I hated this when guys did it, but I loathe this. She gets under my skin at times. I'm not sure if she does it on purpose or not, but it does things to me. Such as when she plays with my hair when we're watching movies on the couch together. It makes my body burn up and brings a low throb between my thighs. Skylar sounds like a fuckboy, a moody fuckboy. Have you not heard of platonic intimacy? Calm down, love. So here's the pickle for you. And by you, I mean me, because I haven't stopped thinking about this since I read it. She describes the Memphis festival that they're going to as being in a large national park surrounded by trees with tents and big stages, plural, a Coachella mimicked event. I've lived in Memphis pretty much my whole life, and I don't know what this could possibly be. I feel like you should have either picked a better place that fits what you're describing or taper off the details to make them fit the setting that you were just stuck on. But hey, it's fictitious, so who cares? I do. So my first thought went to the Beale Street Music Festival, which is held downtown in a city park on the water with no trees. So that doesn't make any sense. There's also the Mempho Festival, and this year it's being hosted at the Botanical Gardens, which is not a park and also not big enough for multiple stages. We also have Overton Park, which is a park, and it has a lot of trees and an amphitheater, but again, that's one stage. Not a bunch of them. I honestly don't know what is going on. It doesn't matter though, guys. It's fictitious. Or I don't know, maybe it's not even happening in Memphis and we're just being swindled. Let's keep going. Before they get out of the car, Skylar asks about the stuff again. Oh yeah, let me grab them. She leans into the back and grabs our bags with water bottles, blankets, and snacks. It has everything we need to get through this comfortably. Okay, here we go, she says, handing me a little piece of paper with an alien face printed on it. I was straight edge in high school, so I don't really know a lot about the drugs, but I'm assuming it's acid. This is it? I'm skeptical as I inspect it on her finger. Yes, for Christ's sake, Sky, just trust me. Okay, I trust you, holding my hands up to wave her defenses down. I'm with Nikki. She's my rock. I'll be okay. I don't feel like acid would be a good idea for Skylar. She's already in a bummer mood, and acid can be pretty unpredictable. But if this is not acid, I'm a huge dork and disregard this whole chunk. She looks at me with her eyebrows quirked up and sticks her finger out. She has a smirk on her lips, and I know what she wants me to do. I stick my tongue out for her to place a little paper on my tongue. It is acid. I was right. Yeah, this won't end badly. I'm sure of it. I feel an electric rush over my body from her touch. I'm tempted to lick her fingers clean. Don't do that. She lingers for a moment, and I see something in her eyes, but it's gone before I can read too much into it. She pulls back, and the paper is dissolved, leaving a slightly bitter taste in my mouth. Nicole gives her a sucker for the dry mouth that inevitably comes with acid, I guess. And then they go hop in line so they can get checked into the festival. But Nicole spots this really hot tattooed guy in another line, and she's like making eyes at him. And then she does this. She turns to me and grabs my face in her hands. Her lips are on mine at lightning speed. I'm in shock, but it's like a flip switched in my hair. What? It's like a switch flipped in my head, and I take it all in. They are soft, and her tongue runs over the seam of my lips. I part them to let her in. Blah, 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 blah. She looks like she's blissed out, and she gives a mischievous smile and cuts her eyes to that guy who was eyeing us before. My heart sinks a little bit. She used me for this. She's never done that before. The author was right. This is a book for me because I love when straight women do queer things to entice straight men. I love it. They get checked in and they start heading towards the front of the stage for the main show. They start playing and I can feel the vibration from the bass reverberating through my chest. Down so deep that I can feel it in my soul. It feels amazing. Nikki is spinning me with a huge grin on her beautiful face. This is all I ever wanted. No, it isn't. You did not want to come to this. You don't want to be here. You're just on acid. I wish she wanted the same. I can't say she wouldn't. I just can't ever tell her. Why? Why can't you tell her? She's your best friend. Don't worry, they're not going to tell us because that would require character development. And we're not about that life. Skylar has to pee, so she goes to the bathroom on her own, which I think is a great idea when you're tripping balls. She stumbles away over and finds the toilets totally deserted, which is kind of weird since it's a festival, in a Memphis National Park, no less. She finds the toilet and plops down and exclaims, "Oh, sweet relief." Like you do. She finishes up and opens up the stall to leave, but Nicole is there, and she starts making out and finger banging her. Just right in the bathroom, which I know is clean. Skylar's thrilled and whispers something like, "Give me all of you," or something, and Nicole starts choking her and chloroforms her. I would bet $10 that that's not Nicole, and Skylar's just having a bad trip. Or maybe it is Nicole. I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm on the edge of my seat to find out. Chapter 2, the killer's back. And who is he? Well, the hot tattooed guy in line, of course. He spots Nicole and Skylar and tells us that he has a type. Thick, luscious, curvy, needy. He knows that Skylar's the one when he sees her, especially because of how pathetic and needy she is when it comes to Nicole. He also tells us that he keeps part of his face hidden because it's scarred and he doesn't want to scare them. Apparently some See You Next Tuesday gave it to him a few years ago and turned him into the monster that he is. Monsters can be born, but some, I clench my teeth at the thought, are made by circumstance. I let out a breath and rub my jaw to force the muscles to relax. I need to keep my cool or I'll lose my focus. And I let out another before finishing my train of thought. This monster was made. Grr, that's intense. He's waiting for the perfect moment to strike. I've been following them around for hours now. Thankfully, the main show starts, and they're following the crowd to the main stage. I'll be able to stand off to the side and wait for my moment, since hiding in the shadows is what I do best. I pull the black clove cigarette from my back pocket and light it up. Inhale deeply. The sweet taste is almost as addictive as the nicotine. A straight white man smoking a black clove cigarette should be a felony. When I was 18, I thought cloves were cool too. But Oh, creepy killer guy alludes to having a brother, or he had a brother. I don't know. He hears his voice in his head and he seems kind of like a jerk. But the brother named Josh was more attractive and he also unalived girls. Family fun for everyone. I think the brother's dead because he's hearing the voice in his head, but maybe not. I don't know. This is totally normal behavior. He notices Skylar's heading to the bathroom alone, so he follows her and does all that stuff that we talked about, and I told you it wasn't Nicole. I'm on fire. She whispers, "Give me all of you," or whatever, and he is throbbing over it. We get to experience this from his POV. We get to hear about how hard he is, and then we also get to hear how excited he is that his brother will never touch Skylar. Great, healthy, solid lunatic. He throws her over his shoulder like a bag of flour and takes her back to his truck that is safely hidden behind the tree line of this Memphis National Park. Yes, I'm still annoyed about it. He puts her in the front seat and her head is in his lap, so he's playing with her hair, and they head in the direction of his house because he's eager to play with his new obsession/victim. But the cops pull him over, and they do Nothing. This is my girlfriend. She had too much to drink. I'm the designated driver. Getting her home safe. Have a good night, officer. If this were a Tennessee state trooper, there's no way that this would fly. They do not give warnings. But this is fictitious anyway. And they might not be in Memphis because I don't trust anything about this. I trust none of this. There's not a national park here. Chapter 3, Nicole, oh no. She's still at the festival and the drugs are wearing off, leaving her feeling kind of hollow and lonely and I just realized Skylar's gone. She isn't with me in the crowd anymore. I'm her anchor to this world. With lysogeric acid, diethylamide, also known as LSD, was the full biblical name of LSD really necessary? Hallucinations can take you to another place, see another person, even have you hear and feel things differently. Grammarly's not a sponsor of this video, but maybe they should be. Hallucinations can take you to another place, see another person. I've been told to do the drug and not let the drug do you. Right on, man. So true. So true. Can you imagine, though, if like the chemical compound for LSD came to life and just started doing Nicole? Did I just write the sequel? Anyway, she goes to search for her, calling her name, crying a little bit. She thinks she sees her hair like flowing off to the side, and she runs after her, trips in a hole, twists her ankle, finds Skylar's phone broken on the ground. Rough night. Grabs her phone and dials someone. Hello? I need you. My voice breaks from tears. Will you come get me? You know I can't. Not right now. Well, fuck you. Fuck you. The one fucking time I asked for help, I grit my teeth and call the police. 911, what's your emergency? Yes, pull it the fuck together. Come on, you got this. Deep breath. I'd like to report a kidnapping. If you call me in the middle of the night when I'm in bed, I'm in my jams, I'm not coming either, especially not without any context. Context could have helped. Hi, I'm at a music festival, tripping my ass off. My friend just got kidnapped. Can you come and help me? I might get out of bed to help a friend with that. But the police is a good next step. Bravo, best friend. Chapter 3, Skylar. Oh boy. So it's the next day and she wakes up feeling pain and a gag being placed in her mouth. She opens up her eyes and recognizes the guy from the line. All I can do is scream at him, but it comes out muffled around the gag. I try to look around, but sharp pain shoots through my rectum. That's a first, making me groan. He tisks, moving his index finger back and forth. Nuh-uh, baby. Don't move. This anal hook will pull up on your coccyx. It's attached to your hair, so any movement from your head will cause it to move as well. Thank you for that detailed overview of what an anal hook does. Woof. She starts putting the pieces together and realizes that it wasn't Nicole that she was making out with. It was this man. He kneels down on one knee to get on my level. It's okay, baby. This is just a lesson. But it doesn't have to be all about pain. It can also be pleasurable. He catches one of my tears with his thumb and sucks it into his mouth. I can't wait to taste all of you, little butterfly. Ah, butterfly.
Come, my lady, come, my lady. You're my butterfly, sugar, baby.
I get it. I wish I didn't, but I do. This is like 50 Shades if 50 Shades was worse. So he gets up and grabs her hair and pulls it back, and the hook does what it's supposed to do. She grimaces at him. I put my all into it because I'm pissed, which I feel is an underreaction, but who am I? He snatches her head again. Hook is hooking. He apologizes for the accommodations, aka the creepy basement that they're in. She's steamed, but she takes a second to think the thought that we're all thinking right now. Did he take notes from 50 Shades of fucking hell? Oh, damn. I'm really getting the hang of this book, huh? He gets in her face and says, "What's wrong, baby? I thought you wanted all of me," which I felt was rude. I inhale through my nose and the scent of him clouds my thinking. He smells of clove cigarettes and a manly scent that's probably only natural to him. Explain yourself. A manly scent that's only natural to him. My brain went right to jizz. Explain it. And I want you to just brace yourself for this next quote because you're just not ready. There's no way. My nipples pedal, and goosebumps erupt with his touch. How could he make me feel this way? This is all new to me. Don't get me wrong. I've looked up bondage and pain play on the internet, but I never thought it would affect me this way. Pebble. Okay, so in first grade, my teacher, Miss Hargett, taught me that in a lowercase b, the bat comes before the ball. Thanked the editor by name. I would cease to exist. If I edited a book and I let this kind of thing pass me by, I would walk into the sea and never return. I know I should be more concerned that she's kidnapped and kind of enjoying it, but that happens a lot with SA and dark romance. Par for the course. Serious cap, friendly reminder that just because your body positively responds to a stimuli or a sensation does not make you complicit in your own SA. Series cap off. He fingers her again, and at this moment I know I'm in trouble and everything I thought I always knew about myself is being questioned. I hate what this is insinuating. I hate it. Because questioning of sexuality is a big theme in this book. We saw it in the dedication. We saw it in the synopsis. We've had it mentioned in several chapters. And now she's being essayed by a man against her will. So everything she thought she knew about herself is being questioned. I don't like it. And I predict that this is exactly what it seems like. I anticipate her being straight after this. Essay the gay away. What a concept. What a book. He takes his pants off and enters her. Hook still in place. She never thought this would be how she lost both of her virginities. Shut the fuck up. What has this man done to me? Ew. I feel dead from pleasure, riding a high I never want to come down from. There's a throbbing pain between my legs, but it's nothing like the euphoria I'm feeling right now. Oh, I hate this. The guy, his name's probably Manson, Ted Bundy, or something fucking crazy they'll write down in history one day. There's no way women survive after his dick sends them into oblivion. You're right, Sky. Women don't survive him, but not because of his monster dong. It's because he unalives them. He lays down beside me with one hand holding up his head, and with the other, his fingers press into me, scooping out his release. Trailing his fingers up my lower stomach, I feel my muscles jump at the contact. He stops at my belly button with a mix of virgin blood and cum. Swirling it around in my navel, he draws a butterfly in our fluids.
You're my butterfly, sugar, baby.
His fingers rub the bottom of my ribs as he traces the wings. He leans over to whisper in my ear, "Look how good we look together, little butterfly."
Hey, come, my lady.
And a single tear falls from my eye. Me too, buddy. Me too. Chapter 5, Killer. He's smitten. How sweet. I don't know what it is about her. I want to consume every part of her. She even bleeds for me. Buddy, it's actually pretty standard for a person with a vagina to bleed when they're penetrated for the first time. It doesn't happen to everybody, but a lot of people experience this, so calm your tits. Wouldn't want him pedaling away now, would we? His brother Josh shows up to be a dick. "I see you got a new pet. I really hope this one doesn't try to leave you too." I look over at him and he's standing in the doorway to the basement, leaning against the frame with his arms crossed over his chest. He looks exactly like me, only he's older and better looking. He doesn't have this fucked up eye or scar like I do. He knows bringing up the past infuriates me. "Will you leave us the fuck alone? She isn't like the others. She won't leave me." I assumed he was dead, but maybe he's not dead because he's like standing there. But maybe he is still dead because this man is clearly unwell. Focusing my attention back on her, she's looking over at where my brother stands. Hey, look at me." She's looking at me with confusion. Her eyebrows are furrowed with a deep groove between them. I gently rub my thumb between her brows, trying to ease her worries away. "Let's get you cleaned up, yeah?" Oh yeah, this man doesn't need acid to see things. I knew it! He unchains her from everything, kisses her, carries her up the stairs, all the while telling us about the 3-story barn house and how it could use a little TLC, but since he's too busy murdering, he hasn't gotten around to the new kitchen backsplash or replacing all the fixtures in the hallway. I get it, man. I got a DIY list yay long, and I don't even unalive people. They reach the bathroom, and then this son of a bitch starts doing what I can only describe as aftercare. Now, you know, I demand and yell about aftercare in almost every book that I've ranted about on this channel. But not like this. This isn't what I wanted. I mean, it doesn't matter how much aftercare you give. You're not gonna fix the fact that you kidnapped and R'd her. Carrying Skylar into the bathroom, I lay her down in the tub and get some warm water running. I turn towards the cabinet, looking under the sink. I know there's some eucalyptus Epsom salts in here. Are we not gonna get the professional biblical name for Epsom salt? What are we doing? A little butterfly's gonna need that to help with the soreness. I pour in some, the medicinal flora aroma filling the bathroom. She's just sitting there staring off into space. She'll come to terms with everything. She's mine. I'll take care of her. Eventually she'll see that too. Isn't that sweet? It's even sweeter because he climbs into the bath behind her and begins to gently wash her. Presh! There's no need to be shy, little butterfly. Her breath hitches and I can't help the smile that plays on my lips with how shy she is. After what we just did, you don't need to cover yourself for me. Every curve is a work of art. She hugs herself tighter and turns to face me with her head resting on her knees. I don't even know your name. Is that relevant? Alex, I say, clearing my throat, shocking myself. I've never told anyone my real name before, but for her, I'd jump off a bridge and deep dive into those eyes.
Daddy, chill.
Alexander, but you can call me Alex. Alex. I'd rather call the cops. He grabs a towel for her and some of his homemade clothes. And even though he's a big guy, they'll probably fit her because thick, curvy, luscious. She's like, "I want to go home." And he's like, "You are home." He leaves her, wanders down the hallway, and his probably dead brother can't help but say what he's already said again. "Having fun with your new pet, I see. How long do you think it takes before she realizes how messed up you are and leaves?" "She won't leave me. She's not like the others. Says every other girl who found out your dirty little secrets." "Shut up. You're just trying to get under my skin. It's not gonna work. She's different. So you keep saying, it's true. She was made for me. Alex doesn't have time for this. He's got work to do. So he sits down at his fancy AF desktop computer and gets to work. What is work, you ask? The computer powers on to where I had it last, monitoring Skylar's room for her desktop computer. It was really easy to get into once her friend clicked on the giveaway tickets I sent her. Ah, the weird flashing green light on the laptop makes sense. Dots connecting. Her friend Nikki is laying on the bed with a stuffed animal covering her face, and a muffled scream comes out through the speakers. I'm guessing the police aren't doing anything, as per usual, with a missing girl from a concert. If Skylar had a more concerned father, they probably would take this more seriously. That's okay, little butterfly. That's what we have Mama for. Not Mom's. I bet she's dead too. Or not dead? I don't know. Chapter 6, Skylar again. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. She's chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, thinking about everything that's happened to her over the past 24 hours. This is honestly overwhelming. I bet. I need to knock some sense into my head and stop falling for this guy. He kidnapped me, for Christ's sake. Oh, we're falling for... Okay. Oh, fantastic. Maybe it's just a turn of phrase that she said in the heat of the moment. Like she said she's overwhelmed. Maybe she doesn't mean, I do need to talk to him and see where his head's at. It's not like I can just leave. I'm trapped here, or so he says. I'll make a mental note to investigate the door and the windows tomorrow. He seems fragile and broken. Maybe, just maybe, I can convince him to let me go. And hopefully I don't fall for him in the process. So this is happening. This is something that we're doing. An actual thing. An actual happenstance. He comes back in and jumps into bed for a quick cuddle. She is uncomfortable, so she goes to sleep. She wakes up to screaming. The room is dark, and Alex is no longer beside her. Oh, rats! Who could he be yelling at this time of night? I thought we were alone in this house. He was acting weird earlier, talking to himself. Maybe that's his thing. I get the voices in your head. I feel like mine are overwhelming at times, but I've never actually yelled at them. Not out loud anyway. Called that. I've actually had my finger on the pulse of this entire book, which I don't know what that says about me, so I'm just gonna move on. She leaves the room and tiptoes down the hallway trying to find him. She ends up finding a staircase that she didn't know about, which makes sense since she's never been in this house before and it's only been like a day and a half. She tries to sneak up the staircase and find out who he's talking to, but it doesn't work because he hears her and he comes barreling after her. Never go up those stairs, rah! Tosses her back in the room and locks her in there. She tries to open the window, cuts her hand on something, and gives up. Chapter 7, Nicole. I'm eager to see how Nicole plays in all this because she shouldn't have a POV. She's giving nothing to the storyline. Unless she's got a bigger role than just giving her friend acid at a music festival, she has to be involved somehow. That's my thought anyway. I could be wrong. I haven't been wrong this whole time, but I could be wrong about that. Who knows? She's flustered trying to get the cops to help her, and they aren't. So she grabs Skylar's stuffed animal, stuffed vampire rabbit to be more specific, and screams into it. Now, I can't hate on the stuffed animal because you see my little possum back here. A text from an unknown number. Hey, baby, I miss you. Will you at least talk to me? My phone goes off a few more times and I let out a groan. Not in the mood for games right now. I throw my phone across the room. All right. Chapter 8, Skylar. Days have passed and she's losing track of time. And Alex's erratic behavior has her concerned. Same. But also she misses him. You lost me there. He's given me more clothes to wear, some handmade joggers and a t-shirt that look like my grandmother made it. I miss my own clothes. I'm thick and curvy, and they fit a little tight around the hips and are long in the legs. Short and curvy problems. Curvy girl problems. If I hear about how curvy she is one more time. He's already described her this way, said the clothes might fit because of how thick and curvy and yacht she is, and now this. I got it, babes. Love it. Got it. But they'll fit fine with the pants legs rolled up a few times. He's actually a foot taller than I am, so that's probably why. He's so big. Ooh, big man. She's comforted by the fact that she still has her shoes on, the last piece of herself on her body. Does anyone want to guess what shoes she's wearing? I'll wait. It's Chuck's. Thanks for playing. If you got it wrong, don't worry. We're all losers here. She wanders out into the hall and he finds her and she says she needs to go out for some air and he's like, cool, I'll take you because we can't have this butterfly flying off now. They go outside and she tells us how this house is really old, but with a little fixing up, it could be beautiful. Don't fly off too far, little butterfly. I have my eye on you. Did I write this book? No, abso-fucking-lutely not. She goes down the steps, a little closer to the woods, and when he's distracted, she bolts. My hair whips around my face, the trees blur in my vision, and the birds fly up in my wake. I feel like the butterfly Alex is always calling me.
You're my butterfly, sugar, baby.
Maybe that's why he calls me that. Or did he say that to every girl he kidnapped? Is that jealousy? Skylar, it's been 4 days. I'm mentally hitting myself in the head because why am I thinking about that in this moment? Why do I even care what he called other girls? I was never special, just unlucky. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, only happy to gain attention from who I thought was my best friend. I was the perfect prey. who I thought was my best friend. Aside from all the stuff we already know, like, I feel like this little sentence here was left in on one of the final edits of this book because that makes no sense. Whatever. She hides in a hollowed out tree. He passes her by. She dips out and ducks into another hollow tree and says this: I'm holding in my breath so hard that I can't breathe.
I'm holding in my breath so hard that I can't breathe.
I'm holding in my breath so hard I can't breathe. All right. She leaves this hiding spot and trips over a human skull and thinks to herself, my position has been compromised. Oh, that's a big 10-4 bummer butterfly. We are over and out. After all that chaos, he finds her and drags her back to that skull she tripped over, shoves her face towards it, and is like, don't want to end up like Susan, do you? I don't know why. She promises not to run again. He hugs her and knocks her out with a rock, I guess. Chapter 9, Alexander. Oh, good. He has a name on his chapters now. I love that. We get a flashback before chapter, and it's so fun. Here are the cliff notes because I'm not doing this. His dad left when he was 7 because Alex was certifiably insane. Money was tight, but not tighter than the grip of lunacy on his kid, so dad dipped. Mom is a seamstress, which makes sense with all the handmade clothes laying around. Alex and his possibly currently dead brother Josh were homeschooled. Mom is sad, but she starts to date again, but Alex scares off every guy that comes around because none of them are good enough, and it's giving Freud. Shattered by her unlucky love life, she turns to the bottle, and one day when she's in her cups, and teenage Alex is watching his favorite show of all time, Victorious, and lusting over Ariana Grande's character, Mom comes in, notices that her son is sporting a partial, and offers to help him out with it. I'm not going to read that whole thing because there's no sense in it, but I will read the last little bit. She got up and wrapped her robe tighter around herself as she left me there with no response to what had just happened. I felt sick to my stomach. I would never look at Victorious the same way ever again. Me either, buddy. Thanks. Now that my brain is mashed potatoes, let's get some reprieve and move back to the current day. Alex is arguing with his ghost bro yet again. Skylar's tied up in the basement after her little escape attempt. Oh, if she'd only listened. Ghost bro's being a hater and Alex is sick of his shit, so to get him to stop, he just starts smashing his head on the kitchen table, which I can only picture as... what a maniac, my God. Chapter 9, Skylar. I thought she was tied up, but I guess not, because Alex returns down the stairs and he's covered in blood from all that, and she lunges at him. Grr. He wraps a rope around her neck and says, time for your punishment. And I wonder what it'll be, don't you? He strings her up by the neck. She spits on him. She starts to pass out, but nope, they're not done playing. He asks her again if she's ever going to try to leave, and she says no, and he pulls her pants down and treats her like a golden corral. And she is here for it, loving every minute of it. He stops and she pouts. Why did you stop? Beg me, princess. Tell me your dirty pussy wants me to eat it. Oh God, please. I'm your dirty little slut. Better. I want you to eat me like I'm your last meal. I'm your filthy little slut, and I'm never leaving you again. I have no words. They finish, and he carries her back upstairs to the room, and most normal people who haven't been ruined by shitty dark romance, as we have, would probably think there's no way that this could get more upsetting, more cringy, and embarrassing and stupid. But we're not normal. Not anymore. No, seriously, though. How'd you get the scar? Lightly touching it with my fingertips. I don't know if it's my touch or the sincerity in my eyes, but I'm genuinely curious how this happened to him. That sentence doesn't make any sense. What does the look in your eyes have to do with your wanting to know something? I don't understand how any of that has anything to do with anything. Whatever. Pillow talking with a psychopath. That's great. I want to know what makes my monster tick. How did he become so fearful of people running away? Her monster. That's precious. He tells her that his last love did it to him. And by love, he means prisoner and victim. Hope she doesn't get jealous over him having loved before. Her stomach growls and she giggles and apologizes because she's so hungry because she's a prisoner. So now he's on a mission to feed her. A man does irreparable damage, assaults a woman, and then tries to make it up to her by giving her food, which is a basic necessity. If I had a nickel for every time that happened in a book like this, I'd have like 20 cents. He comes back with a plate piled high with food and a bouquet of flowers. You got me flowers? Where did you get these? They were planted around the house by my mother, and they just kept coming back every year. I thought you'd love them. I do. They're beautiful. I'll have to put them in a vase on the table later. Are you cuckoo bananas? You don't live here. You're a prisoner here. You are a kidnapping victim. A vase. You're just gonna go wander and find a vase to put your new flowers in, given to you by your kidnapper / boyfriend that you're in love with now. This girl's stupid. Crazier than a road lizard on a highway, I'll tell you what. Her hand starts itching because she's allergic to the flowers or whatever. LOL. And then he kisses my forehead and we lay on the bed, limbs tangled all together. This is the first time I felt like I could fall for him. False. You said at least 2 other times that you were falling for him, that you didn't need to fall for him, that you're sure hoping you're not falling for him. This is not the first time. Shut the fuck up. But I need to know more first. My curiosity won't let me stop. I'd like to sue. She asks him some more questions and he's like, I can't tell you, leave me alone. He untangles himself from my limbs and gets out of bed. He looks defeated. I'm torn between giving in to him and running away. Alex is beautifully broken with that scar on his face. I wish he would open up more. Tell me more of his story about who he talks to in the middle of the night. He tugs at my heartstrings when he's sweet, but him keeping secrets might be too much for me to bear. That's too much for you to bear? Not the fact that he kidnapped you and held you against your will and R'd you and essayed you. Not that he's done it before. Not that he's unalived people before. Not that he sees and speaks to things that aren't there. All of that's fine. It's the secrets that you can't let go of, huh? I get it, man. Secrets are no fun. Since he's gone, she decides to take this opportunity to try and escape. Just kidding. No. She goes off to his office under the stairs and rummages around through his stuff. Cute shit. She makes it there without alerting him somehow and begins sifting through the boxes of documents, and she finds his birth certificate, which plays absolutely no role in the outcome of this story, I promise. Alexander Viceroy. I read it over and over. That's my last name. I look at his parents listed. Son of May and Stephen Viceroy. My heart sinks. Did you really have to keep looking, little butterfly? I jump out of my skin at the sound of his voice. I have no words and just keep holding the piece of paper in my hand. I turn to look at him and his eyes are vacant. I can't read them. I can. If you didn't catch that, his dad is her dad. This dad is your dad. This dad is my dad. I'll stop. One instance of incest wasn't enough. We needed to double up. We needed a second one to really get us where we were going. At a time like this, I can't help but remember the dedication. Chapter 12, Skylar. So he tells her everything and she's gutted. Not because of this hellish reality that she's just stumbled into. Oh no. She's devastated because of how much he's gone through. He tells her about his mom and the abuse and his dad leaving. Their dad. The love giving him the scar again. All the other girls he's killed, I guess, too. And she says that she's sorry that he went through all of this. Those other girls, did you, I'm not even sure how to ask that without him flipping his shit on me. I would rather have sweet Alex and not almost want to kill me Alex. Ah, are you jealous, baby? Maybe. I swear to God, they didn't even mention that they share a father. Like, just breeze right past it. Am I being dumb? Like, I feel like that's a conversation that needs to happen. Never mind. They start making out. And he tells her that he wants to mark her, so that's what we're doing, I guess. He grabs a knife and a lighter and brands her with the letter A for Alex, while eating her out and fingering her, which, I mean, the man is talented. Can I say that? I'm gonna say that. So she got the A and the O. I'd like to buy a vowel. I've completely forgotten about the pain and I look down at it. There's an angry red A burned into my lower belly. I guess that's fitting since I could never conform to the normal standards of society. I want you to just know my series cap is gonna go on in a few seconds, but I am having a hard time articulating why what I'm about to read to you is so upsetting, so I need you to just bear with me. Once again, I guess it's fitting since I can never conform to the normal standards of society. First, there's my love for women, and then there's my love for danger and my brother.
One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong.
Ugh. I know that homophobia was in the trigger warnings, but I wasn't expecting this. This is the queer/questioning character, and internalized homophobia, maybe. But for this not only to exist in here, but all the little breadcrumbs leading up to this moment. I told you that I didn't like what it was insinuating. She had a positive sexual response to his essay and then said that everything she thought she knew about herself was being called into question. I told you I didn't like that. I told you that I thought she might end up being straight by the end of the book. That is still yet to be seen. But her dad being homophobic, the questioning, this tacky nod to a scarlet letter, and then using something like incest. I don't know what to say. It's not okay. I don't care if this is fictitious or whatever. It's still harmful. She couldn't find the book she wanted to read, so she wrote it. For people who've ever questioned their sexuality, it just feels like blatant homophobia. I think that this, up until this point, it was just dumb, dark romance, which I've read plenty of this year. And this crossed a line This is so vile to put something like this in a book that you dedicated to anyone who's ever questioned their sexuality before. This book is for you. This is not for me. This is abso-fucking-lutely not for me. I don't know. As a queer person existing in the South, I've heard people say things like this to me. And that's not fictitious. That's something that queer and trans people have to deal with a lot. Couldn't find the book that you wanted to read, so you wrote it. And you wrote it for anyone who's ever questioned their sexuality. This book is for you. What a fucking joke. Hi, I'm back. Popping in for a little add-in. I didn't feel like I articulated myself well, and so I wanted to come back with fresh eyes on this idea, and I also wanted to share a little bit about my life and my lived experiences so that maybe you'll understand why this is so harmful. And once more, I'm not attacking the author's character. I don't know this person. But what I do know is that, again, it is possible for queer people to also be homophobic. And I think that that's what's coming through here for me. When I was 16, my family found out that I had a girlfriend. And just for context, I am the oldest of 3. I have 2 younger sisters, one 5 years younger and the other 15 years younger. And I took care of them a lot on the weekends and after school and stuff. But when my family found out that I had a girlfriend, I was no longer allowed to be with my sisters unsupervised. And I'm sure you can put those pieces together as to why. And if you can't, here's another example. A few days or weeks, I don't know, time's weird, after my family found out that I had a girlfriend, I was also taken to my first gynecology appointment. And my family instructed the doctor to test me for everything because I sleep with anything that walks. Because it's actually not uncommon for homophobic people to spread hateful, harmful rhetoric like this about queer people and falsely equate queerness to, I don't know, pedophilia, bestiality, incest. And so while I know that homophobia was in the trigger warnings, I was not expecting for such a hateful, ignorant, homophobic undercurrent to come sweeping through this story in this way. I expected the dad to be homophobic, maybe a few other characters here and there, maybe even the main character herself was in the middle of questioning her sexuality and she's going through it and trying to figure it out. Because when you're young and you're questioning your sexuality, I can only speak for me, it was a time. I had lots of conversations with myself. So I was expecting some stuff like that, especially because I feel like I was set up to lower my guard because the book is literally dedicated to queer questioning people. And then the queer questioning character is blatantly homophobic. And I said it before that I didn't like that instantly after she was abducted and AR'd by what we now know to be her brother, it was implied that she's now questioning everything she thought she knew about herself because she got a good dicking down. It feels very much like essaying the gay away, which is a very weird spot to be in a book that's dedicated to anyone who's ever questioned their sexuality. It just feels really insidious, and I don't like it. I'm not attacking anyone personally. This is just a really good jumping off point to have a conversation that's a little uncomfortable to have, and that is queer people can perpetuate harmful homophobic stereotypes. Queer people can harbor internalized homophobia, and I think it's important to have conversations like this because no one is immune to harboring their own biases against certain demographics. So that's really what my goal is here. I did not feel good reading this part of the book. It brought up a lot of memories for me. And then I also think back to the dedication, and I think of the baby queer people out there that might stumble across this book and see that it's dedicated to them. And then they read it and they're met with this. We could all stand to take a step back and really look at ourselves and sift through these things that we might have in our bodies that we don't really know about and that it's uncomfortable for us to talk about. And I think that the author could have really benefited from doing that before hitting publish on this little gem here, because it all just feels very irresponsible to do in your dark romance. It's very much along the same lines as the negligence and the harm inflicted by Kay Webster in The Wild, which I've already yelled about if you're curious. The Wild is an incest romance book between a father and his teenage minor daughter. And you know what? As I say in all my videos, you're allowed to do what you want to do and read what you want to read and write what you want to write and like what you want to like, as long as you're not harming anyone else. And when I was reading The Wild, I was like, this is something that I'm not interested in. And that would have been it. But then when I got to the end and the author's note was urging readers not to tell anybody what was in this book so that they didn't miss out on a beautiful love story, Then it became harm that was being inflicted, asking your readers to lie by omission so that people get bait and switched by your incest romance. And this feels adjacent to that. You dedicate this book to members of the LGBTQ plus community who are questioning their sexuality. And then the whole book reeks of that dick saved me. And then you have this false equivalency of incest and queerness coming from the questioning queer character. And it has such potential to do harm to the community that the author said this book was for. And it sucks. It doesn't feel very good in my body. And if you're feeling a little yucked out like I am right now, I want you to know that I see you. I just feel like this was really hurtful to the queer community, and it had there was no reason. What was the reason? I know that the author said that this book was for her because she was looking for it and couldn't find it, so she wrote it for herself. But aside from that, I'm not really sure who this book is for. And if this is just a dark romance that's meant to, explore those deep, dark fantasies of abduction and non-consent, or maybe even banging your brother, did queerness need to be drugged through this? The queerness just feels kind of like the butt of a joke that I didn't know I had been invited to. I know I can't be the only one that thinks that this is problematic. And that's problematic to say the least. I'm having a hard time. I do hope that I handled this with care, and I hope that my intent comes through and that we can continue to have this conversation in the comments. I would love to talk more about it because I feel like I'm still having a hard time really pinning down the language needed to illustrate my problems with this. Sometimes you're too close to something and you can't get the words out right. That's how I feel. Long story short, this is harmful and it's not a good look. Oh well. Series cap off. I'm back on the brother thing too. This is the first time she brought it up since she found out that he was her brother, and she says, "My love for my brother." So we just breezed right on past that. We do not care. Do not stop. Do not collect $200. Do not pass go. What are we? Nothing. Not even a blip. Not even a hesitation. She just went straight for her love for her brother. So she's questioning her sexuality, in love with her best friend Nicole, and she's been with this man, a week? She found out that he is her biological brother. He has SA'd and R'd her. All right. She decided to thank him for the brand by sharing even more DNA than they already share, and gives him a blowy. Now that's a good sister. Fuck, baby, you were so good. I feel a little proud of myself for his praise. He chuckles at how I light up. Okay, let's go put some ointment on your marking. I wouldn't want it to get infected. Yeah, God forbid. It's always so easy to fall into him when he's this kind and nurturing. He pulls away from me, looking into my eyes. It's late. Let's go cuddle until you fall asleep in my arms while I play with your hair. And I've never heard sweeter words spoken. I might be falling for him. We know. God damn it, we know. Chapter 13, Alex. He's puttering around the basement, giving his prisoner/lover some space and time to deal with everything, and we love to see it. He's building some sort of contraption for them to play with together, and lucky. I think Skylar's coming to terms with everything she's found out about me and the secrets I've been keeping from her. I think with time she'll come to understand that I only did what was best for both of us. I don't even think she needs time, my boy. Truly. She seems pretty chill with all of this already. I needed her as much as she needed me. I saw the way she was looking at that girl at the concert. That girl didn't want her. She was using her and claiming her for selfish reasons. My motives aren't completely selfish because she needed someone to need her just as much as she needed someone else. I filled the space that she was missing. She'll come to understand that. Whatever. It's your world and I'm just living in it. Unfortunately. The Spectre brother comes back and taunts him a little bit more. She'll leave you. They always leave that. Who wants to bet that he killed Josh too? He decides he needs a drink, so he goes upstairs and he finds that she's already in the kitchen having a drink of her own. Great minds. I mean, related minds, I'll tell you. He grabs a glass of whiskey for himself and settles in. He's feeling pretty good. He told her everything. He laid it all out on the table and she isn't running. She accepts him. Nothing can bring him down now. So when were you going to tell me about the women you were torturing upstairs? Well, didn't see that coming, did you, Alex? That's the thing about crazy murderous liars. There's always more lying. Even when they've come clean about everything, there's still more. There's always more. But he's a cool cucumber, y'all. He handles this in stride. I told you not to go up there. Spit is flying out of my mouth and I lunge at her. I grab hold of her hair and I stumble a bit. My vision starts to go in and out. I'm looking down at Skylar and she's smiling up at me. She's fucking smiling. I figured you would say that. She says calmly, "What the fuck did you do?" Has little Skylar got something up her sleeve? I won't hold my breath until I can't breathe, but I don't know. Chapter 14, Skylar. I'm exhausted. When will this nightmare end? We hop back in time a bit. They're curled up in bed, having a little cuddle sesh. They're adorbs. She wakes up and he's gone from beside her, so she goes a-wandering again, upstairs where she's not supposed to go. She wants to love him. And while he promises that all of his secrets have been laid out, she doesn't believe him, and she's determined to find out who he's been talking to upstairs. So she slips out of bed, down the hallway, and up those stairs to the place that he specifically told her not to go. I mean, there's honestly nothing keeping her from snooping around anyway. He punishes her with orgasms. So onward. I make it to the top with no cracks or squeaks. I want to jump up in victory, but I'll do that safely in our room later. You know, if he doesn't try to kill me. Our room. The air up here is musky and musky. Musty? Musky. We're gonna look that up. Having a smell of musk. That did not help me. So, the word I think old Mem Perry is going for here is musty with a T, which means having a stale, moldy, or damp smell, and not musky with a K. That means a secretion emitted by male deer. The editor is an imaginary friend. The air up here is musky and smells as if something died up here. Wait a minute, you only need one here. The air up here is musky and smells as if something died up here. Here. I hear ya. There must be rodents. Yeah, for sure, rodents. That's the only logical explanation for the weird death smell that is coming out of a room that the murderous kidnapper forbid you to go in. This girl is stupid. I continue down the hallway looking in the rooms as I pass, but they're mostly empty besides a few old pieces of furniture. It almost feels like a storage space up here. The further I go, the worse the smell gets. So she gets to the last door and she opens it and finds Alex standing at the window looking out. Only it's not Alex. It's a mannequin that is not only dressed up to look like Alex, but he's even painted a facial scar onto him.
Everybody's so creative. Oh, look. A burger face. I bet you never thought about making yourself a burger face.
Super realistic. As the mannequin falls, a scratchy voice calls from the bed behind her. Help me. Oh, that was kind of scary. She turns to see a mutilated woman restrained to the bed, and I'm not going to get into all of that. Kill me. Is this the love he mentioned before? I'll bet anything that that's his mother. A silent sob escapes me as the tears fall. I never thought he'd take what little piece of my sweet soul I had left. At this moment, it feels like I'm ripping the wings off a butterfly. You're my butterfly, sugar, baby. Feels like I'm ripping the wings off a butterfly. Way to force that into the story where it didn't belong. I love it. This is just the best storytelling I've ever experienced. I wish I couldn't read. She does kill this woman, actually. She smothers her with a pillow, and she's like, that's the last straw with him. I can't take this anymore. She's okay with the kidnapping and RSA being related to him. But this? Too far. And she takes a second to miss Nicole. You remember Nicole. The love of her life and best friend that she has not thought about once since she first got there. Then we get a flashback, I guess. Will you stop playing with the flowers? She sits next to me in our co-op gardening class. But they're so pretty. They will cause you to have a rash if you touch them with your bare hands. But I love them. You would find the most dangerous flower the most beautiful. If we keep pushing, it'll fit. This incredibly corny, stupid flashback gives old girl an idea. The flowers. You didn't need to do this, though. Like, all she had to do was remember just a couple days ago, flowers made her hands itch. And then get to that. We didn't need the flashback. Like, she could have even looped in another tacky-ass reference to a classic Macbeth. Out, blasted spot. She just killed a woman. Her hand has a rash on it. And at first, she could think that it's blood on her hands and she can't get it off. And then she realizes that it's still a rash from the flowers. Oh my God, the flowers. But that would require being a decent writer. Anyway, she grabs the flowers, the poisonous flowers, which I happened to see when I was at the store the other day. So weird. She grabs the flowers and squeezes them into the whiskey bottle and sits and waits. And I'm not a florist, a botanist. I'm not any of that. Botanist? Yeah, I guess that's right. I don't know. But I have never encountered a flower that if I just squeeze it, nectar comes out. And if I did squeeze a flower and nectar came out, it would just be absorbed into my hand. because it's not enough to be like, but sure. Chapter 15, Skylar again. She's panicking, but she's determined. So she grabs his keys as he seizes on the floor from the poisonous flower whiskey, and she heads out to his beat up pickup truck in the driveway that, quote, looks like it's hanging on by its last tire thread. Thread. Oh, tread. You mean tread. And if she didn't mean tread, then that means she probably thought she was being kind of funny, like, looks like it's hanging on by its last thread. Tire thread. I beg you to stop this. Fire your editor. I mean, this is a high stakes moment, but there is still plenty of time to remind us once again how curvy she is. We get it. Oh my God. Anyway, she has to get back to Nicole again. Haven't said or thought of her once, but you find one dying woman in an attic that you didn't know about, and it's Nicole. Where's the loyalty? So she gets in the truck and she heads out, and when she gets to one of the main roads, she kind of realizes that she's actually in Texas. Beats the fuck out of me how she got there. She's driving like a mad woman, determined to make it back to Tennessee. Whatever gets her back to Nicole, her best friend, her roommate, which until this moment I did not know that. Her rock. Now, I've driven from Texas to Memphis before, and you have to stop to refuel at least once, but I guess that's not something that Skylar has to do. Sure. This is stupid, but why let that stupidity stop at the Great Escape? No. She pulls up to her house and barrels in out of the truck and starts banging on the door, calling for Nicole. She's just about to give up when Nicole answers the door and holds her and shushes her. And you're safe now. Is she? Let me get you some hot cocoa, okay? How about a bottle of water and a shower? You don't even have to give me a bottle of water. Just get it from the tap. We are in Memphis after all. We've got the best tap water. I hear the crack in her voice. I don't know what she sees when she looks at me now. Am I as broken as I feel? She runs to the kitchen and all I can do is sit here, staring, dissociating, thinking of how things used to be. It's been like 2 weeks, max. We have pictures of each other smiling and laughing, sitting up in the middle of the mantle on the fireplace that we never use. I wonder how we'll ever get back to a time like that where we were so carefree. We started this journey with you being the biggest emo bummer this side of the Mississippi. Don't try to gaslight me now, Skylar. Sip on it. I know chocolate is your happy place. She was always the go-to for motherly stuff. I guess having to raise your siblings all by yourself will do that to you. Makes you grow up a little bit faster than the rest of people your age. Skylar? The go-to person for the motherly stuff. Is this the same girl that gave you acid and let you wander off by yourself? I've read this book, unfortunately. None of what you're saying adds up. But character continuity? No, ma'am. She tells Nicole, I killed him. I doubt that, but okay. And another woman he was torturing, probably his mother. And then she stole his shitty truck, and that's how she made it back here all the way from Texas on 1 tank of gas. Nicole goes into cleanup mode. She's like, I'll get rid of the truck. Skylar goes to her room and falls asleep. What a stupid book. Chapter 16, Skylar. The cops come the next day and they just lie. I guess it's because Skylar doesn't want to be in trouble for unaliving anyone, but it was self-defense, so no logic. Head empty. You don't need it. Skylar tells the cops that she ran off with a boyfriend and she lost her phone at the festival and she doesn't have anybody's number memorized. Who has people's number memorized? Plus, she didn't think anybody would miss her anyway. And they leave. They never listened to you or attempted to find me. My dad is still a worthless piece of shit. I knew he wouldn't even try because then he wouldn't have to pay for my tuition. And you know what? I've heard about parents like this, where they're such low down dirty dogs that they are praying for the day that their kids get kidnapped so they don't have to pay for their shit anymore. Happens every day. The girls snuggle in their PJs and fall asleep. Happy as can be. 2 little morons. Skylar wakes to Nicole moving around, but it's not her. A hooded figure presses a hand over her mouth. Oh my God. Little butterfly. I'm guessing you thought you left me for dead, right? He chuckles a bit because he can see it written in my eyes. You actually saved me, but I guess you didn't mean to do that either. He pauses, grinning down at me. You're always so beautiful when you cry. Then he leans over, licking a hot trail of spit up the side of my face. And tasty. Back to what I was saying. I didn't choke on my own vomit because of you. That seizure was pretty bad, but princess, don't you know delphinium is less potent the longer it sits out? He laughs in my face and gives me a little slap on the cheek. It was a good try though. A damn good one too. That was redundant. He leans into my ear and whispers, but you didn't have to kill my mother. Told you he wasn't dead. Told you it was his mother. I promise to God I don't believe in that I did not write this book. I guess I'm just getting used to this shit. Also, what? Sit out? How long was it sitting out? Do you mean since she used old flowers to get the nectar that was poison, it was less potent? Or how long was she sitting in the kitchen waiting for you to come up from the basement? Makes no goddamn sense. Anyway, she freaks out and tries to fight him off, but she can't because he's so big and heavy and strong. But what's this? He falls face first onto the pillow beside my head and I scream. Tears are streaming down my face. Will this nightmare never end? I see a knife sticking out of his back and my best friend is still standing there frozen in the position she stabbed him in. I look at her in confusion. She was sleeping beside me, but now she's standing there in a trench coat? What the fuck? Nicole, what you doing? Seems like Nicole's involved in some way. I feel like someone theorized that would be what was going on. Chapter 17, Skylar. I am so ready to be done. It's been almost a month now since my brother was stabbed in the back by my best friend. We haven't really talked about it and she won't tell me where she was when I was sleeping. Why was she wearing a trench coat? I don't know. But that is definitely the most important question. I wouldn't pay for her tuition either. Not because she's queer, questioning, or anything else. Just because she's stupid. Not a good investment for me. I'm out. The police showed up again and Alex had a fake ID on him and the girls didn't correct on who he actually was. So the girls move on and keep on keeping on and work and school and life, you know? Obviously things are a little bit weird between them now. Life goes on. I'm in the bathroom throwing up again. I feel so sick there's a pain in my abdomen. I thought it was because of stress, working too much, or not eating much. I've swept it under the rug and given it every excuse in the book. I think I might be in denial. No. I'm sitting on the toilet holding the pregnancy test I bought from the convenience store today. I watch as the urine runs up the strip, filling the indicator lines. I'm sweating, heart racing at the anticipation of what this little white stick will tell me. Surely not. I look up, praying for the first time to someone to please save me. Don't let this happen to me. Taking a deep breath, I look back down at the stick in my hand. My eyes are blurring at the 2 pink lines. Tears run down my cheeks. I'm so angry. He's taken everything away from me. Now this. She's devastated for some reason, and I just can't put my finger on it, even though her brother did. But yeah, I don't know. Weird. So yeah, she's devastated, so she stabs herself in the stomach. Right over the brand, which I didn't see that coming. In my mind, I envisioned the brand being low and to the side, like where all the popular girls circa 2005 used to put that Playboy bunny sticker when they went to the tanning booth. If that's where it is, I don't think that will terminate a pregnancy. If the brand is like under her belly button, maybe. All of this is stupid. Why are we talking about this?
Boop. Hello from the void. I just had another little caveat to toss in here. This is going to be the choppiest rant I've ever done. But why the stabbing? Why did we just go from 0 to stabby in that instant? I understand that tensions are high. I understand that this is an unbearable circumstance. I really do. But is abortion not a part of this whole reality? Is it not an option? I just don't get it.
Nope. Epilogue. We got an epilogue. Thank God. I thought we were done and now there's more. Woo! Skylar is zoned out in a mental institution that she has been placed in against her will. I got involuntary admission for self-harm, which just means I'm stuck here until they decide that I'm better and won't try anything like that again. The timer for the session goes off, indicating that our time is up. Standing and walking to the door, I don't even wait to hear what the therapist has to say. I walk face first into a hard chest. Looking up, the first thing I see is a smirk. Then I look into his eyes. They're so blue, like ocean water. Like water from the ocean or the Sonic beverage? Let me know. A slight pain pangs in my chest. He moves to the side, letting me pass, but not before he grabs my hand. I feel the electricity in that touch. Don't I know you? To be continued. I swear to God, a cliffhanger is one thing, but this isn't even a good one. I don't even care who this man is. Who cares? Well, folks, this has been a ride. A faulty one that has gone off of the rails and shot into the sunset, bringing the apocalypse down on us all. But a ride nonetheless. I don't even think I have any good final thoughts. I feel like we should all just sit with this for a second. This was awful. It was so bad. It had everything I hated about The Wild, plus the shitty, cringy, stupid writing and insufferable, unlikable characters from Haunting Adeline, and it mushed them both into one book that also gave me homophobic storytelling with dangerous misconceptions and rhetoric around queerness. Despite the dedication saying that this is the book for anyone who's ever questioned their sexuality. This book is for no one except the author, which is a bit concerning on its own. It's just not good. So let's let me attempt to do a final thoughts. We enter into this book thinking that it's going to be very dark and twisted with a lot of heavy triggering topics, but that ultimately it's a story about a young girl questioning her sexuality and then having her life take a turn. The book is dedicated to anybody who has ever questioned their sexuality, which I think is pretty insidious given the fact that blatant homophobia runs throughout this book, and it's not just the characters, it's the story, it's the writing. The calls coming from inside the house, and I'm a little bit concerned. The characters were half-baked and not fully developed, but again, that would require like thought and time. The setting is laughable. There is no national park in Memphis, but later on in the book, it's revealed that she's not in Tennessee. Somehow, during her initial kidnapping, he managed to get her across several state lines from Memphis to Texas in his truck. Who knows how? Probably the same way she was able to get from Texas back to Tennessee on one take of gas. Because I'm pretty sure that when she finally decided to poison him from those nectar-riddled flowers, she didn't swipe the keys and cash. So I don't know. None of this made any sense. All of it was really stupid. This is some of the worst writing that I've ever read. Not one, but two instances of incest. We also have a little bit of insta-love between her and her captor, which was weird. It's just an embarrassingly bad and tragic story that I did not have fun with. The only fun to be found was me yelling about how stupid it was.
This bitch is fucking her brother who kidnapped her from a music festival in a national park that doesn't exist!
I feel like I'm rambling. It was bad. There was nothing good about it. Nothing made any sense. Nothing was fully fleshed out. The characters were poorly developed and lacked any sort of continuity. None of this made any sense. It was so bad. And aside from being bad, it's fucking harmful. Fictitious or not. And then I just go back and have to kind of giggle because she made sure in the author's note in the front of the book to let us know in black and white English, some would say, that this is not to be confused with a resource for sexual education. My list of worries for this book is endless and ongoing, but worrying that someone might find their way to this book and pick it up, read it, and then think to themselves, this is a resource for sex ed. That's not a worry I have, my friend. So don't you waste another minute stressing about that. That is not, erase that from the book. Erase the book. Just yeet. I hate it. This was stupid and painful and inappropriate. And I can't help but think of Robert Pattinson in this moment.
It was like it was a book that wasn't supposed to be published.
Yeah. This is my final gift to you on this year of our Lord 2023. I hope that it was fun and interesting and stimulating. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you being here. I've had the best year with you guys, and I'm looking forward to an even better 2024. Thank you for suffering through this with me, and I will catch you in the next video.